Rick, get your ass off and get on the... Alright guys, well, I'm sick. And you know why it really upsets me? Because I wanted to do something for Friday the 13th. But no. I'm still getting over it. Like, I probably don't actually sound that sick right now. I'm a little bit nasally. There you go, you could have heard it just then. Gross. Yeah, I'm definitely run down nasally, still have a slight headache, but I've had the worst of it. But anyway, if I struggle to talk today or talk a bit less, you guys now know why. You'll see the setup is slightly different. Actually, you know what? Look who you guys can see now, hiding behind me. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Oh gosh. Maybe overactive imagination or mind, or maybe she's struggling, I don't know. Yeah, imagine running a place like this. Yeah, you got to deal with everything, including domestics. Could I say a weird thing, right? Oh, I guess I was gonna ask, why would a walker that's feasting leave its food just because of a sound? But I guess fresh, alive meat is more of a more attractive meal. So yeah, I have answered my own question. I should know that after watching for 9 seasons. Jeez Louise. This is like Michonne's Farmer Rick / Rictator. Holy shit, man. It's a lot of freaking pressure. And I feel like it's different to when you're like... Being a leader in a world like this is a whole nother level on top of what it was like beforehand. Like beforehand, being a leader was tough, but it's like... I feel like just objectively it was easier because there was less stress about one wrong decision and you could be responsible for however many deaths. I mean, there's still a thing in real life. People still have jobs like that, but I feel like the risk to reward is way higher risk, lower reward here, but you have to take the risk. You know what I mean? You kind of have to take the risk. I don't know. I'm just chatting nonsense. Bro, Rick must be a bloody heavy sleeper. Bro, if that walker decided to lead with its teeth, Michonne would be... Whoa! Wait, is that... It's not Lucille, is it? No, where is Lucille, by the way? What would be the benefit of keeping Lucille now?
Is that a goat? Can all those speak?
You know when the writers were trying to figure out, whoever wrote the comics, or whoever wrote the initial story of, like, Glenn dying, Herschel dying, Maggie baby, who made the executive decision to be like, yep, we're going to call the baby Herschel, not Glenn. I think naming the baby after Herschel is a better writing decision than naming him after Glenn, purely because Herschel had that much impact on Glenn too, and they probably already spoke about it. I agree with it, but I'm just wondering, did it ever cross the mind? Yeah. On the note of how we ended the last episode, how the next decision affects this entire place. I don't know what the decision is. That's the thing. They're not going to kill Rick, but they clearly disagree with him. They want to go to Alexandria, right? Is it to depose him? Is it what? I don't know what the plan is. And has Rick thought about this? Has this something that's crossed his mind? But yeah, whatever decision's about to be made, I've got a bad feeling it's going to be not detrimental, but it's going to have a huge impact negatively going forward for this season. Like, we haven't seen Like, we're all in a good place right now, right? It's been a while since it's been like this and lasted this long. I don't see it lasting much longer after whatever decision is made. I mean, there's the fact that Gabriel's gone missing, by the way. I
realized you were back from the camp.
There's a whole nother bloody
Just came in this
thing.
morning.
You headed back already?
I just came to pick up a few things.
The crowbar being one of them.
Jesus, please follow.
I'm gonna make things right, like we talked about. Not asking you to agree with me.
There was a time I did.
Maggie. You ready?
Oh.
I am. I'll be back when it's done.
For the love of God. And you guys well and truly know my thoughts on this now, and I just don't agree with it. Isn't that mad?
Seems Mother Nature served us up a serious bowl of whoop ass in the form of an overnight deluge, effectively annihilating the upstream levee.
What are the chances the bridge will hold?
Take no pleasure in saying that in the long term it's bad. I wish there were.
Surely there is a
Simply
way.
not safe to keep on keeping on with the project as it were. The two nearby herds we've been tracking, one Tybalt and Cordelia, are running parallel as expected, but luckily show no signs of merging. Tordelia nor Cordalt had a particularly good ring to them. The herd monikers are from the Great Book.
Thanks, Eugene.
I'm truly very sorry I didn't do more. Maybe we could.
Don't do that.
What?
You're not just a guy who read some books. You made something. You got us here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's everything.
Come on. I'm so happy that, like, Eugene hasn't come back from what he was a part of to, like, an unwelcome thing. You know what I mean? I'm so glad that people understand it for what it was, not for what they thought it was. I think the bridge is supposed to be like a symbol of the groups working together, you know. So I'd be gutted if it did fall, because then it's like, oh dang, all that work, everyone working together, all the groups, only for everyone to go back to their own little cubby holes. When I'm like listening to all this, oh, there's like 3 different herds and they're in different places and they're running parallel and not combining, I'm pretty sure all this foreshadowing means that they're going to combine at some point. Maybe that's the thing that brings everyone together, fighting that. Do you remember when we were in Alexandria, the wall fell down and everyone was fighting together? And like, we won that battle against the dead. I want to see that again.
Hey,
Hey.
you leaving too?
Yeah.
Yeah, back home.
I'm taking my people home.
We tried.
You've seen it out there, Rick.
We tried.
What about the sanctuary?
They need to try standing on their own.
What if they can't? What if it goes down the same way it did here? Then what?
Then that's on them. They don't want us there anymore.
Yeah,
Like you.
I think to an extent, but at the same time, like, what happens if it just reverts back to some asshole? I don't like that, man. I don't like the idea of just abandoning ship, and yeah, they've got to learn to stand on their own feet and they've got to learn their identity, but the whole point of this is to be an us, a together, a collective, not, oh, let's just leave them try and survive in a place that doesn't have food and doesn't have this and doesn't have the other, you know, because then what happens, they may just end up resorting back to what they had to do when Negan was around, looting, all these different things, stealing food. The crazy thing is can you blame them if they are starving? So when you think about why Negan did what he did, a lot of it, yeah, you disagree with. It was the most effective method to keep his people alive, and he bore the weight of being the villain to do that. So yeah, I've had my mixed emotions about him, and honestly, when I look at it in that perspective and speak of it like that, and try and voice for the saviors, right, which is kind of what it feels like Negan's doing, Rick's doing right now. When I do that, all I can think about is why what they had to do before isn't completely their fault, or why what Negan did is the only thing he really found he could do. I don't know, something along those lines. I wish, for God's sakes, that the Saviors compound could just be abandoned. Everyone could merge into Hilltop, the Kingdom, Alexandria, and we could continue life. If people didn't want to stick around, they can leave, whatever. If people want to stay at the Saviors compound, they can do that, whatever. But it still kind of feels like there are these walls stopping people from going between and joining communities, and because they are Saviors, there's like this label on them that's like, nope, you're basically damned to the Saviors compound. In which case, isn't it mad? The whole if you think about it, right, if Rick was to stop fighting for those saviors and stop fighting for the compound, they're going to start feeling like having Negan around was better than their current state of affairs. And what's crazy about that as well is we showed up, we deposed their leader, then we abandoned them in a worse situation. Doesn't that sound crap? Am I the only one that thinks this? I don't know. I mean, you start thinking about the way Negan did stuff and like showing up and creating like a taxing thing, and he essentially, oh my god, look at it that way. What Negan did, if you compare what Rick's doing and what Negan's doing, Rick's trying to get all these communities to work together, to share, to do all these different things. And for the most part, it is currently to help the Sanctuary, who aren't really offering much in return. So if you take what Negan did and compare it to what Rick did, it's exactly the same thing. It's still everyone functioning as their own societies and then basically the Savior's compound piggybacking. The only difference is that Negan's not walking around with a bat forcing people to engage in this. So are we seeing the true nature of humanity and the selfishness that Negan knew would exist, so he showed up forcing people to be cooperative? Isn't that crazy when you think of it like that, right? I'm not saying I agree with what Negan did at all. In fact, I don't. For me, in an ideal world, the compound which wouldn't be a place that we live. Its lands are crap, it doesn't produce anything, it doesn't stand on its 2 feet. The only way that place can survive is if it runs the way that either Rick wants to run it or Negan ran it. Negan's way of running it currently seems more effective. Well, I say that, except for the fact that it caused an uprising and a war, so not really.
Hey, I'm sorry, Rick. I really wanted it to work.
It will. It bloody will. It's just...
I know.
It's really sad that
I know.
Rick almost seems like this person at the moment that he's like the only one that's really seen Carl's vision properly. Does that make sense to anyone?
Got something for you, Hefe.
What is it?
Maggie's running down to Alexandria. She just thought you should know pronto.
When did she leave?
Don't know.
Whoa!
Did he say anything else?
Just that you know what that means. Sorry, man, that's all I got.
No, thanks, Jerry. L1, I need you to get an urgent message to Alexandria. If Maggie shows up, delay her at the gate and alert Michonne right away. Do not let her in without an escort.
I think she's done talking.
No message relayed. Hi. Oh my.
What's going on? Hop on. I'll take
Whoa.
it. You sure you got enough fuel?
Yeah.
We'll get there quicker.
No, this doesn't make me happy, for God's sakes. Because we know who else is involved. Oh my days. The real question is, though, is if Maggie does show up, does she just go in there and kill him? Or does she want to talk to him? I kind of feel like she will try and have a conversation with him, you know. You know what? He's probably expected this. He's probably been waiting for this moment.
Negan. Scott tried to feed him this morning. He won't eat. He wouldn't eat yesterday either. I was going to try at lunch.
But that's okay.
That was the way back there.
Daryl, for God's sakes.
What is this?
You know exactly what this is.
I already called it in. Maggie's not making it through those gates.
Yeah, that message didn't go through.
You messed with the relay?
God's
This time, man.
sakes.
It's gonna go the way it was supposed to.
Stupid. Now what?
The hunger strike ends today.
I'm not on strike.
Then what is this? Eat, Negan. It's a nice day.
Sorry, it's a really serious moment. I just find that so eat Negan kind of funny. I can't explain to you how pissed off I am right now. The main reason I'm annoyed, right, is because they're clearly angry at Rick. I get that. But they really need to go to this extent of... Daryl's almost borderline fighting him. It's not often when our own characters irritate me. And I've said in the last episode, there's actually a lot... There's actually a lot I need to talk about, because in the last episode, there was a thing that happened where... What's her name? Arad or something, Marat or something. I can't remember her name. She gets killed because of, well, it's revenge, right? It's to settle the score. And a lot of the questions in the Beyond the Wall, which I'm going to answer at the end anyway, are like, do you agree with this? Now, quite a little bit ago, I was sort of saying, I don't feel like I can take someone's right to justice away. I feel wrong doing that. I don't think it's my right to do that. I may disagree with it, right? I may not do it myself. It almost feels like it's just something, I don't have the right to just stop someone from wanting to get justice. Would I stop them in this situation? Yes. You know what? The more we sort of push along into Carl's vision, the more I want to stop them. The more I disagree with them, and the more I feel like, I don't know, like, everyone else has a right to live in a world that Carl dreamed of, and it almost feels like Daryl and Maggie and anyone trying to spill blood, like they're just ruining it for everyone else. They're taking a step backwards for everybody else. This isn't even just for them to get justice. It almost feels a little bit selfish, and I don't want to say that because it's like, oh, I love these characters, but it feels selfish to me. They know what the vision is. They know the world. They agree with the idea of a world of peace. They just don't want any part of the past in that. So they almost contradict themselves in their own beliefs. Oh, we don't want anything to do with the past. Let's demolish it. Let's get rid of it. Let's murder it. Let's all these words. Let's just get rid of everything that was and push forward as is. Sounds like bloody Thanos logic. How he's going to level the earth and then create a new one where people are grateful for their existence and balance. And because everyone else is dead, it doesn't matter. That's the past. Like, I don't think, right? There's like this portal. Let me just use this way, right? There's a portal here. To get through there, that's Carl's vision. There are a lot of things that need to be done to get through that portal. I think there are certain things you can do which stop you permanently going through that portal. I think there are decisions you can make once the portal's open and once the ground rules are set. If you get blood on your hands, you will not go through. I feel like you could make, like, there are some decisions you could make and you could still atone for it, but there are certain decisions you can make which are closing that bloody portal forever. It feels like Daryl and Maggie and anyone that's trying to spill blood in this new world, which is semi-succeeding, bar a few hiccups, is succeeding, right? There are challenges and things that we have to do to try and improve it and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I know that. But them making that decision, increasing the chance that that portal closes for everyone. And I don't see that as right. That's why I want to step in now. This whole shebang that's about to happen, I'd say no.
I'd say it's about 20 minutes before the sun hits that bar. That's all you get. Then, you're gonna eat every last bite. You wanna talk? Let's talk.
You want to know something else that's crazy in parallel? I don't think Michonne would have been able to do this with the governor sitting there. I think she would have felt like she would have had to take his head off. It's amazing how much she's changed and how much she even as well sees what the future needs.
God damn it.
This is you, Daryl. Why?
You set that up too?
And you really laying this on me?
What, so this
wasn't...
had to go chasing after her.
Couldn't just let things be, huh?
You know what keeping Negan alive means to us.
I know what seeing him dead means to her.
Daryl, I get why she can't accept it. I'm not blind.
He sure as hell been acting like it.
Of course he hasn't. I think...
And your ass wouldn't even be alive if it wasn't for Glenn. You wouldn't have found Lori. You wouldn't have found Carl. And you sure as wouldn't have found any of us.
Frick, Daryl.
He did that. Or did you forget?
Of course not. And Maggie, I hate what I did to her, what I took from her, but it's what I had to do.
She's doing what she has to do.
What, you're okay with that?
Why the hell wouldn't I be? And you got that guy sitting in a cell like a damn symbol. To all them assholes who can't wait to see things go back to the way that they were.
Keeping him alive is how we make sure it won't.
No. Keeping him alive is giving him hope that it will.
It's just... Oh, can you...
Don't talk to her.
Can we not just see that there are multiple ways to view one bloody thing, for God's sakes? Like, I can understand where both of them are coming from. And the fact that they're arguing is just... oh, my days.
The truth is, she just couldn't live with it. Just like Oceanside.
He doesn't know yet.
Oceanside. You saying Oceanside killed those saviors? Harrod.
I'm saying they got what they deserved.
Oh.
You knew, and you didn't say anything.
Truth is, I couldn't live with it either.
If this doesn't work, if she kills Negan, he becomes a martyr. The war was for nothing. Every person who died for nothing. Carl died for nothing.
I'd die for you. And I would have died for Carl.
I'm pausing it because I'm going to talk about something. Hot take, okay? It's a little thing that crossed my mind which I want to get out. In this situation, it's probably hardest for Daryl. Let me explain to you why, right? I don't disagree with anything he's saying right now. I don't think that he wouldn't die for Rick. I don't think he doesn't care about Rick. I don't think he wouldn't... You know, I think Daryl cares about every single one of these people, right? I do. I think he disagrees with Rick. Yeah, I do. I think Daryl has his own opinions, which he's entitled to, right? And I was so proud of him when he was able to voice them. And the more he voices them, you know what? I like that. I like when characters can voice their bloody opinions. But Daryl, right? I'm not convinced that he feels like... If Maggie wasn't going through what she was going through, I'm not convinced that this would be happening right now. Rick has so many people supporting him. He has a support network. He's got a home. He's got Michonne. You know, he's got things working out. The one leader who I was worried about was Maggie, because it felt like she was almost not alone, but out of the main group, she's like almost completely and utterly isolated. Daryl, who was kind of floating in between, he has to watch Maggie go through that again and again. And bear in mind, he probably still blames himself for Glenn's death. It's not even just that, like, he has to watch her go through it. He's probably going through a bit of it himself too, and he probably still feels guilty. He probably feels like Maggie deserves justice, and he, more than anything, wants her to feel at peace. Because ever since what happened, he's probably blamed himself for Maggie not being able to settle, right? And think about that. Just think about Daryl's perspective here. So I can understand why he's adamant to help Maggie, right? It's just hard to see him go against Rick. It's hard to see anyone go against Rick after everything, you know, and I think Daryl sometimes says things that he doesn't mean, and it's kind of painful to listen to sometimes, and I love him, man. I love the fucking guy. Just sucks when, like, you know, obviously no one can see the future, so they all think their own way is the best way, a better future. That's what they're both fighting for. We need to keep that in mind. And it breaks my heart, but look, we have to deal with it, right? I'm glad that they're stuck together right now because we can level out some crap.
You're chasing something for him that ain't meant to be, man. You just gotta let him go.
Wow.
Let him go.
Can't let him go, you know.
I think the warrior in you is not meant to be planting kale and kissing boo-boos.
You think that's all this is? We're reordering the world.
He's trying to piss her off, and it is
rebuilding
working.
Government and creating laws, while you're rotting in here with nothing.
Damn, that was kind of sassy.
I am grateful my wife didn't have to see me like this.
What do you mean? As opposed to the asshole that you were before?
She deserved.
What's with the whole, like, covering his face? Like, ever since he's been in here, his face has been shadowed. Every single scene.
Cancer. We would have loved to have had a kid. We would have loved to have a kid like Carl. You were lucky. Carl wasn't your first, was he?
I'd say you have about 10.
Would Carl be doing this? I don't know, eh? I don't think Carl would be against him being locked up initially, but I do genuinely feel like Carl would have been pushing for this not to be the solution. Maybe it's the short-term solution, I don't know, but I see Carl, I would have seen him talking to Negan. You want to know what's crazy? If we get to a point where, like, the world starts crumbling and, like I theorized, the need for Negan will increase, I genuinely feel like Carl would have been one of the first people to see that. And once again, it would have been about convincing everyone else why, or what was needed, or first of all, it would be convincing Negan as to why we are needing each other. Imagine that. Imagine Carl trying to convince Maggie. Well,
I'm sorry.
I've made my peace with it.
Eat your damn green beans.
You ask me, it's better this way.
How the hell exactly is that?
My wife, she wasn't made for this. There was a part of me that was relieved. With you, it's the same.
We are not the same.
We were built for more. We still are, Michelle. Out there, it's like an addiction. I know that you know what I'm talking about.
Why are you trying to probe it
And
then?
that is why you're grateful, too, that Andre's gone. Because you know all he would have done is make you weak.
Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. Finally. Bloody finally. I don't understand this, eh? Like, she clearly loves him, but what the hell even is this? A or a B? The hell?
You don't have to do this.
Yes, I do. There's only one place left for me to go.
But you don't want to. I know you, Anne.
Trading people. I still haven't got my
You're
head
afraid,
around it.
but you don't have to be.
But I'm not like you, Gabriel.
Wait, I'm confused.
You moved on from your past.
I'm a better person because of you.
I'm confused. Is she gonna be killing him? Or she ain't gonna do it. Yeah, see, the point is to bloody...
What we're about to do, it's my fault.
But if she does this, I'm not gonna forgive her. No, she's not gonna do it. She'll stop. Yeah, see? I still don't get it though, so she's trying to kill him. Do you have an A or a B? All this time I thought you were a B. Only to kill him anyway. Plotline is taking forever to materialize. I want that plotline now.
Everything okay?
Take these trunks and lock them in the medical tent now.
On it, boss.
If we hurry, we can make it to the kingdom by nightfall.
Wait, we're about to get robbed?
Where'd you get the gun, Jed?
We
Alden
are.
wasn't as quick as you. I took the scenic route, but I figured it out. Oceanside's killing us. So now, being that it's war,
Oh, shoot.
they're gonna get what's coming to them.
Stop it,
For
Jed.
God's sakes. Yeah, just do it. 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 For God's sakes. For God's sakes. Oh, for...
Let's back the camp. It's gonna draw those herds.
Who the hell built this shit?
We got this.
Come on, Daryl. Come on.
We got this. 1, 2, 3.
Why did you say those things?
I wasn't trying to piss you off. You should know that.
Why do you care what I think?
What were you doing then?
Because you never come down here. You are trapped, same as me. You're connected to the dead, same as me. We are the same, and you can't stand that we're the same.
You know the whole I am Negan thing? I actually think there's a bit of Negan in everyone. Just a little bit. He's not so different. He's like... Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say.
This world is going to be better for my daughter and for every other child that comes into it.
You're not scared that you're like me. You're scared that you're gonna end up like me. With everything and everyone that you love gone.
Time's up. Eat Negan. One way or another, you're gonna have to.
Before you go, there is something I want to ask you. There are things in this world that we desperately hold on to when there's nothing left.
Lucille?
I want to see her. I need to see her.
No.
Please.
Negan. We don't have your bat.
Oh, true. Where is her bat? His bat then?
Where is she? What did you do with her?
Still out there.
No. No.
Eat, Negan. Food's good.
He's going bloody crazy. Oh. Jump back down and help him, jump back down and help him, jump back down and help him. Screw getting up, screw getting up, screw getting up. Oh no, he should be fine. Pile the bodies up and then stand on them. Bro, if someone falls now, you know how many...
You got hurt. Hurry!
Do not let me down. Come on, Rick.
Take my hand.
Come on. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Come on.
Come on. Scott, wait. I'm gonna stay back, lead him away from the camp. What? I'm staying. No, man. I'm not giving up on it, not yet. Fine.
Come on, Rick. Come on. See what matters?
Hey. Be safe. You too. And
Did she just leave without him? It brings me...
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I need to go fast.
I'd rather she'd gone than Gabriel did. Ah, shit. Oh, I don't like this at all. Rick, get your ass off and get on the... No freaking way! Oh, for God's sakes! And it's gonna end here, isn't it? There's no way he dies though, like I'm not buying that shit. This is going to be a bit of a weird outro, guys, because we aren't going to start with what we've just watched. We're going to start with the Discord Beyond the What questions, which we were supposed to do before I got sick. Yeah, there's only 2 questions, but they're pretty beefy ones. But I wanted to talk about them before I went forward just because some of it made sense toward today as well, so it makes sense for me to talk about it. Do you think Cindy and the others were in the right killing the saviors that were a part of the Oceanside massacre? I don't think the question or the answer is that simple. It's not about right or wrong for me. Well, actually, kind of yes. I think killing is always wrong, so I don't think they're right, okay? I don't believe in capital punishment. I don't believe in death. I don't believe in an eye for an eye necessarily. I think sometimes that's just bad. It's a bad foundation to start on, so I don't think they were right. But whether I disagree with them doing it is a whole nother story. Now, if you ask me like 4 episodes ago, I don't know what episode it was, but I keep quoting something I said about not feeling like I have the right to take someone's justice or right to justice away. That's how I think I would have felt if I was back then when it happened, but because it's a bit further on, I've kind of developed this feeling of like Carl's vision is of utmost importance, and I don't believe that starting Carl's vision with blood, honestly I believe if we start it with blood, it's going to end in blood. I don't believe if you start it that way, I mean you're not following Carl's vision if you start it that way, let's put it that way. If you build a world on top of bones and blood and revenge and all these different things and call it a merciful world, I think you're kind of telling porky pies. But yeah, so now I don't think it should happen. I don't think them dying should be... I don't think it should have happened, right? Period. That's completely irrelevant whether I agree with the whole concept of they deserve to be punished. It's completely and utterly irrelevant. From what I understand, right, the situation is quite complex because, yes, they didn't really have a choice being a part of what they were a part of. We've been through this a billion times. We're not going to go through it again, guys. The whole savior arc and conversations are back there, like... The same reason I didn't blame Dwight completely in the end, I sort of blanket statement that to a lot of different saviors. But there is a part of you, like, for example, you didn't see Dwight going around killing people, laughing, getting people to beg for mercy. Like, you didn't really see that. From what I hear about how that crap went down, it wasn't exactly like they were just following Simon. It's like they were also being Simon. If they went there and just killed and there was no sort of seasoning on top of that, do I think they still would have wanted to kill them? Probably. Do I think they still would have? I don't know. I think the way that she killed her family and the saviors that are now dead killed their family, the way they did it is part of the reason why they were so adamant that they had to die. Yeah. I just think what she did is probably disgusting, well it is, and it's horrible and blah 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 blah. You're not going to catch me saying I agree with what she did. Even me way back when we used to say like, would I kill someone purely because someone told me to? Would I die or would I become the thing I despise? And I can't answer that question until I'm in that situation. So I'm really cautious about how I step around talking about these things. Anyone that sits here in my comments right now and goes, oh my god, like, no, she deserved to die, I would have killed her, I would have done this. You don't know, okay? You can only infer or make inferences about what you would have done because you have never and probably will never be put in a situation that they've been through. That's the first thing to say before I go on and continue to answer this. Do I think that Cindy was right? No. I don't think anyone that goes and kills someone, especially for the way that she was doing it and for the reason she was doing it, it's just not right. Murder is murder. Yes, some people probably deserve what's coming to them and blah, 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 blah. I get that. Yeah. I don't think it's right, but I don't hate her for feeling like she needs to do that. If I was in her position and someone had murdered my entire family, would I go out seeking revenge? Probably. But the unfortunate thing is I can't sit here and be like, I would do this, I would do that, because it hasn't happened to me and it probably never will. But in saying that, in that situation, if I had gone out and then murdered them, would I feel in my heart that I'd done something right? No. I would believe that I'd done something very wrong, but I would be at peace with the fact that I've done that for justice, what I thought would make me be able to rest, right? Because of an injustice done to my family, right? So that's where I stand with that. I understand why she's done it. I don't agree with it, but I probably would do it too. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself morally excusable in that situation, nor do I them. So that's how I answer it. They weren't in the right. I honestly feel like I can't take the justice away from them. Do I think them doing what they did has detrimented the future? Yes. Do I think that the act itself is building a world, well, it's then making Carl's vision even further away? Yes. For the future and for what it means to move forward, that's taking 300 steps back. But I can't say I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Here's another question I will pose to you. If, say, someone showed up and murdered Judith, do I think that Rick would go and seek revenge? Someone who currently is probably the most fighting for a future that Carl dreamed of, do I think he'd go out and seek revenge? Yes, I think it would snap anyone. I think it would snap anyone and everyone. If Carl had died to the Saviors and not a Walker, I don't think Rick would be thinking the way he is right now. At least not yet. That's what I'm saying, like, the fact that Carl didn't die to the Saviors in those explosions, it changed everything. If he had, I don't think we'd be in the same spot. Now, what would you have done in Maggie and Daryl's position if I was standing there and someone was about to be murdered? Honestly, I don't think I'd be able to walk away. I know why they walked away, because I don't think they agreed with the idea of killing her on her knees, but I think very similarly to the way I'm feeling with Justice, I don't think they felt like they could take that away from them. Because they know what it's like. They're going through the same thing, right? I don't think I could walk away, because then I'd feel like that's almost on me. I honestly feel like I would just try to convince them otherwise. I'm not going to step in and create a war about it or pull my gun out and start some kind of uprising. I'd probably try and convince them otherwise. I'd stick around. If it happened anyway, I'd probably tell Rick. I don't know. I don't think I would have done it exactly the way they did it. Let me just put it that way. I feel like those saviors should have been in prison. I don't think killing them was right, but I do see why they did it. That's pretty much exactly like what I just said. But you just got to be really careful though. Like, if we had seen it happen, I feel like my argument might be different right now, because all I really heard is that she smiled and she stood over him and asked him to beg and like these kind of semi-sadistic things, right? Which is why I think the punishment was as it is. I'm not even sure I agree with imprisonment, hey? The whole point is we're trying to move forward. It's crazy. I can understand completely as to why Maggie, Daryl, and a whole bunch of other people are not on Rick's side with trying to move forward and with the past. Well, no, without the past, you know what I mean? I can understand because a lot of shit has happened. I just think there's so many mitigating factors, and we could talk about this for a long ass time. And if you think certain characters should die because of certain things, then at the same breath you should think some of our characters should die because of similar things. Yeah, I get it. We don't stand over laughing, getting people to beg for their lives sort of thing. I get that. But, you know, we have very much done atrocious things too. And I bunch myself in with that because I agreed with them in the moment. It's like, it's a hard topic because I don't see any way forward clinging on to the past. But how do you move forward when there feels like justice hasn't been? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure we will talk about that a whole bunch more. If I haven't answered your questions enough, feel free to message them in the Discord, guys. The Discord is there for us to have discussion. So if you have any more questions about my thoughts, boom, into the Walking Dead chat on Discord. I am in there every single day. This isn't the end of the video. We've still got a little bit to talk about in regard to the episode we've just seen. Now, the only major things I want to talk about, guys, forget Negan. You could see my little bit pissed me off today. Forget a whole bunch of the episode. I want to talk about Maggie and that situation. I want to talk about Daryl and Rick, and then Rick at the end. Maggie going to do what she's doing. Once again, we've just spoken about this with this, the you-know-who's-its. Do I feel like I should stop Maggie? Isn't it crazy? Because I just said I wouldn't step in to stop. I'm contradicting myself in my brain as we speak. Would I stop Maggie? My brain's saying yes. Would I stand there and pull a gun out to try and defuse the situation? I kind of think yeah. Would I just let her waltz in and kill him? No. Far out. I've just contradicted the shit out of myself. So maybe I would step in. Oh shit, what was I saying? What was I just talking about? My brain just got distracted by someone grinding something in a blender. Maggie, yeah. I think I don't agree with what's about to happen anyway. So I don't think it will happen, but like, yeah, shit. Honestly, I think there are more worrying things right now. I've got a really weird feeling like Maggie's going to find Rick. I don't know why. This odd feeling like Maggie's going to find Rick where he is and save him, and then that's going to be the thing that gets in between her getting straight to Alexandria. I don't know. It's just a weird gut feeling I've got, you know what I mean? But yeah, maybe I would step in. Anyway, let's move on from that because that's confusing me. We've already been talking for 15 minutes in this outro. Shoot. It's a lot of time. And then there's Rick. Oh gosh. I'm still not completely sure why Daryl and Rick split up. What did Daryl say he was going to do? I can't even remember. I'll have to re-watch it while I'm editing. But yeah, Rick is impaled. He is by himself. And there are two hordes bloody converging. How the hell do you get out of that? I don't even know. Like, someone has to be there, right? This has to be a stroke of some kind of luck. Because any other time this happens, he probably dies. Unless he manages to pull himself off that bloody stick and hobble away, which I don't see happening. Who else could show up, realistically, right now? Who could rock up? Surely a group rocks up that's just left the camp. Surely. Because that's where Rick was leading them away from the camp. So surely someone just rocks up and saves the day. Because I will be fuming. If we get another death that's like this, I'm going to throw my desk. But anyway, guys, my brain is no longer functioning properly. That's me right now. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for new content every single week. And of course, follow the Instagram, Dan Reed with 2 Ds. And yeah, that's all from me, guys. As ever, this has been Dan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.